We begin with an update from China, where silver bullion demand for industrial inputs and silver jewelry demand is outpacing diminishing silver bullion supply levels. How is their state-run media covering this ongoing, underreported story?
上游冶炼企业也在加紧白银的生产和发货节奏。那么目前的经营情况如何？未来白银的价格又将怎么走？继续来看记者报道。
在河南济源的一个贵金属冶炼厂，负责人告诉记者，现在工厂每天的作业时间基本保持在20个小时以上，来满足下游的需求。
我们现在的这个银的产量是每月大概是150吨，今年全年可以完成1800。去年我们是1400，现在比以前大概增加20%多，30%。
在当地的另一家贵金属冶炼企业，工作人员正在将一批银锭产品打包装车，最终发往海外客户的手中。黄信涛是这家公司的负责人，他告诉记者，现在下游客户需求比较旺盛，员工也在加班加点安排装车发货。
基本上的话，我们现在每天都在出货，一天大概就是5吨左右。我们现在就是一个低工程状态啊，几乎每天就产出来了，就当天就销售了，实际上是供不应求。
据世界白银协会统计，2023年全球白银供给量在2.5万吨至2.6万吨，缺口大约在4000吨左右，库存也处于历史低位。业内人士认为，2023年白银价格或将震荡上行。
美联储货币政策以及白银供需结构、投资者情绪的变化会有影响。
短期的话，可能白银价格会震荡。中长期来看的话，大家对于这个投资贵金属的需求会增加，白银的价格还是往上走。
This week it was announced one of China's largest banks, the China Construction Bank, is increasing its global capacity to service its local and global client base in precious metals and bulk commodity trading. Meanwhile, earlier this week, there was an open article written in China Bai News calling for international silver market reform, explicitly citing the ridiculous outsized paper derivative leverage used in the West by the COMEX and City of London's LBMA markets in order to keep gold and especially silver values at still suppressed levels. The author cuts to the chase regarding diminishing silver bullion supplies globally, stating the following. In China, industrial silver accounts for nearly 70% of the total silver consumption, compared to less than 15% 20 years ago. From the development of intelligent industry and new energy, the demand for silver will continue to grow in the future. It's terrifying that the world's proven silver deposits with mining value are now less than 0.56 million tons, U.S. Geological Survey. At the current annual mining rate of nearly 30,000 tons, the silver mineral resources will be dried up in less than 20 years. Recycling silver is one way to address the source of raw materials. However, the extremely unreasonable low price of silver currently does not support silver recycling. Jinggu Silver Industry is the current recycled silver enterprise in China. From the financial figures below, it can be seen that even though Jinggu Silver created a revenue of 1.4 billion yuan, its gross profit margin was negative 0.68% and its net profit was a loss of 9.7 million yuan. On the one hand, the demand for silver industry is continuously increasing, and on the other hand, silver resources are gradually depleting. Within 20 years, we will inevitably encounter a silver depletion crisis, leading to a serious shortage of industrial silver, causing a significant decline in production capacity in intelligent industries, new energy, EV, 5G, and other industries, while prices skyrocket. The result is a serious stagnation, generational decline, and even regression of industrial civilization. This has not attracted high attention from the international market. On the contrary, COMEX LBMA's large capital use trivial topics such as labor reports, interest rate hikes, and debt ceilings to make price fluctuations, manipulating the market with a large amount of paper silver and various derivatives without physical support, and make money from them. Are labor reports, interest rate hikes, and debt ceilings more important than the extension of a precious metals mine? Is there anything more important than the reversion of human industrial civilization? The silver industry lacks an organization like OPEC to regulate the industry and protect its own interests. Overexploitation and selling cheap are two major problems in the current market. We need an organization to constrain mining companies, implement quotas, and limit production. At the same time, it's necessary to establish price protection measures and strictly prohibit low-price dumping. Protecting silver resources can greatly delay the time when silver mines are depleted. In this way, we have time to develop new alternative materials to ensure the continuation of industrial civilization. The price of silver should be adjusted as soon as possible. Cheap selling results in a large amount of silver waste and makes recycling silver unprofitable. Raising prices to 3 digits or higher can effectively curb waste, stimulate the silver recycling industry, suppress non-industrial demand, and extend the time of silver depletion by regulating supply and demand. The existence of a large number of derivatives in silver futures and high leverage trading should be prohibited. Paper silver without physical support should be classified as commercial fraud crimes, and naked short trading is prohibited. High leverage trading should be recognized as excessive speculation and disruption of market supply and demand, as well as market manipulation crimes, and prohibited and severely cracked down on. Silver should be protected as a special precious metal with special industrial value and closely linked to human industrial civilization. On the night of May 31st, 2023, Musk made a surprise visit to China. Late at night, he visited the Tesla superfactory in Shanghai and delivered an important speech to thousands of employees. Subsequently, he met with China's foreign minister, Minister of Industrial Information Technology, and Minister of Commerce, mainly discussing the expansion of new energy vehicle factories, intelligent networking, and the construction of the world's largest energy storage superfactory. Tesla China's total sales in the first quarter were 229,300 vehicles, approaching 1 million vehicles for the entire year. I'm not sure if the sudden withdrawal of 152.9 tons of silver from the Zhonggong supply chain silver inventory located in Pudong of Shanghai on May 23, 2023 on Shanghai Futures Exchange was related to Musk's new energy storage superfactory, but it's clear that Musk's fate has been closely bound to silver. It's hard to imagine how Tesla EVs, energy storage superfactories, home solar power plants, and Star Chain will continue to advance once silver runs out. Learn from Musk. For the continuation of human industrial civilization, it's time to take action. 2 weeks ago on this SD Bullion YouTube channel, we showed you the record-sized silver bullion withdrawal that the author was referring to at the end of this plea for higher silver values for future civilization's industrial development. Certainly, every industry Elon Musk is involved in will require more and more industrial silver moving ahead. Now we're going to move on to the gold side of the Chinese market this past week. On the left-hand annual price chart here that you see, that's the local fiat yuan gold price throughout this full fiat currency era, starting in the early 1970s up until now in 2023. Each bar represents 1 year, red being a negative year, blue being a positive year. And you can see we're on the cusp of a major breakout coming soon. Yet the local fiat yuan silver price on the right-hand side remains depressed, while outsized Western derivative markets like COMEX and LBMA have done their best to try and contain at least a polite silver spot price while they can manage to do so. This week, the People's Bank of China updated the world that it bought more official gold bullion in last month, May 2023. That's now 7 months in a row of official additions to their gold reserves, admitting to having added something like 144 metric tons of gold bullion since October of last year, 2022. There's a long litany of reasons for central banks and investors around the world to be adding to their prudent gold bullion reserves currently, especially now before the next major move upwards in global fiat currency denominated spot prices. A few of them are provided here by Tavi Costa, as he illustrates different reasons for gold cycles moving upwards and the litany of reasons that he cites here. After this short break, we're going to dig into a few major news events from this past week, illustrating further that ultimately gold is going to be the best safe haven through the coming structural world trade transitions that are ahead. It's going to prove itself as likely the best store of value for those prudently buying and allocating now before the coming inevitable mania to come. As a predictable open attack on private digital tokens and some exchanges that allegedly wash trade in many of them kicked off this past week into high gear. Stick around, we're going to get into that news shortly. Hello, this is James Anderson on behalf of SD Bullion. Smash the like button if you enjoy these bullion market updates. And be sure to visit sdbullion.com/sweepstakes to enter our free 500-ounce Silver Eagle coin giveaway.
Want to win 500 Silver Eagle coins just like this guy?
Yeah, this is Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. This is Dr. Tyler Wall, CEO of SD Bullion. I'm calling to let you know that you won the SD Bullion giveaway of a monster box of 2022 Silver Eagles.
Unbelievable. That is awesome.
So click the link below for your chance to win.
Good luck to all of you out there who enter our free 500-ounce American Silver Eagle coin giveaway sweepstakes. The silver and gold spot price markets moved slightly higher this week in fiat US dollar terms. The spot silver price closed right around $24.30 an ounce bid, while the spot gold price closed at $1,960 an ounce bid. With gold not leading silver yet, the spot gold-silver ratio fell to 80 to finish this week.
Hucksters, fraudsters, scam artists, Ponzi schemes, the public being left in line at the bankruptcy courts. We've seen this story before.
The SEC and its chairman Gary Gensler made major headlines as they filed multiple lawsuits against two of the largest exchanges in the world's cryptocurrency markets. Gensler openly colored current cryptocurrency markets as seemingly lawless price discovery markets similar to the unregulated 1920s in the United States. Of course, Gary is the guy who also once headed the CFTC as it failed in 2010 investigations on precious metal market manipulations, then not finding that at the same time JP Morgan and a handful of other major commercial banks were consistently rigging precious metals price discovery markets at the time, and they would also go on to do so for many years that followed his failed tenure at the CFTC. Here's how the Wall Street Journal covered this week's major cryptocurrency lawsuit story.
The Securities and Exchange Commission filed separate civil lawsuits against two major exchanges, Binance and Coinbase. Caitlin Ostroff covers cryptocurrencies for the Journal and explains the latest showdown between federal regulators and the industry's biggest players.
Binance is an international crypto exchange that was founded in 2017. The Securities and Exchange Commission sued Binance, saying that it was operating an illegal securities exchange in the US. And in doing so, it sued not just Binance's US entity and its global entity, but also Changpeng Zhao, who is the founder of Binance. In its lawsuit, the SEC said that Binance was offering tokens that were actually securities and that those were not registered as such. And because of that, Binance was basically operating a sort of black market for tokens that they were not supposed to be allowed to let users trade. The SEC also really dug into a lot of Binance's operations. Two of the firms that the SEC zeroed in on in the Binance complaint were called Merit Peak and Sigma Chain. These are two market makers that were owned and operated by Zhao, Binance's founder and CEO. And the SEC said that Sigma Chain, one of these so-called market-making firms which buys and sells cryptocurrencies, was doing that on Binance US, but trading a lot of the same funds. And so basically making it look like there was a bunch more trading than there actually was. They also say that there was the risk of funds being commingled on Binance US through the Merit Peak entity. And so they're saying that because of those two entities, users weren't fully aware of what was happening with their funds and what was potentially happening in the background. Binance has said that it intends to defend the platform vigorously. It has vehemently denied that there was ever any risk to customer funds, that it commingled assets. Not even a day later, there was a separate lawsuit that the SEC handed down against Coinbase, the largest US exchange. In their lawsuit against Coinbase, the SEC is saying that it also traded assets that should have been registered as securities, and because of that, Coinbase was operating an illegal securities exchange as well. In response to the charges, Coinbase has called for there to be more specific legislation regarding cryptocurrencies in Washington, D.C., and has said that it's going to continue to engage with legislators to actually get that legislation through Congress. So for Binance, the SEC is seeking for Zhao and his companies to not be able to do business in the US. It seems more likely that this litigation is going to drag out for a while. Unlike the Department of Justice, which can issue criminal charges, the SEC can really only do civil charges. At most, you could be looking at either a settlement or, if a judge rules in the SEC's favor, a monetary fine. Crypto has grown exponentially from when it was created and worth basically nothing in 2009, 2010 to where we are now, where it's a $1 trillion industry. The recent escalation in enforcement from the agency has certainly caught people's attention, and it does seem like they're starting to really go after not just small companies and projects as they have in the past, but really the biggest companies in the ecosystem.
Maybe artificially high-wash traded and sucker-inducing exchanges propping price points are just a few reasons why central banks have not bothered with cryptocurrencies that they don't control, or Bitcoin, for instance, to date. But instead, they've been buying collectively gold bullion in record size since last year. So it's going to be interesting to watch how the crypto markets perform if indeed a large portion of their prices are fraudulently propped up, as the SEC is alluding that they are. Personally, like central banks, I'm sticking with physical bullion. And that's going to be all for this week's SD Bullion Market Update. As always, to you out there, take great care of yourselves and those you love.
If you enjoyed this content, be sure to give our video a thumbs up. To keep getting bullion-related news and industry insights, be sure to subscribe to our channel. And finally, hit that alert button so you know when we publish fresh content.